Hello, good morning, students. Now come to the third chapter of NCERT book History, that is the Delhi Sultan. In this chapter, we will see that how Delhi became as a capital, how many cities sprang up nearby Delhi. It means many cities which were sprang up or developed within the city or nearby that city, and how it becomes the capital of Delhi Sultans. Delhi became an important city only in the 12th century AD. Tomar Rajputs and Chauhans were the first Delhi rulers. Delhi became the capital of a kingdom or Chauhan kingdoms only under the Tomars, who were a part of Rajput dynasty. The Tomars were defeated in the mid 12th century by the Chauhans. Delhi became an important commercial center under the Tomars and the Chauhans. Not only this, many rich Jain merchants lived in Delhi and they helped in the construction of several temples. That is why we had seen many of the Jain temples in Delhi. There was a wide circulation of coins minted here, and these coins were called as Delhi balls. After that, after Rajput, the warrior class, the next dynasty who came over Delhi was the Delhi Sultanate. It refers to five Muslim kingdoms or dynasties which were based mostly in Delhi for about 320 years, from 1206 to 1526 AD. The Delhi Sultan built many cities in the area that is known as present day Delhi. These are the Delhi A, Kolha, Janpad, Siri, Firozabad, two new cities. How we come to know about these Delhi Sultans? The sources of information about them are as coins, inscriptions, architecture, Tariq, which is pronounced in the singular form, and Tariq in plural form. This Tariq is written by the learned person, especially in the Persian language, which was also the court language of the Delhi Sultan. It is actually the chronicle written by scribes, which is known as Tariq, during the medieval period. This is actually an Arabic word. Its meaning is history or historiography. Language. This language is written in Persian and it was the language of administration in Delhi Sultans. The authors of the Tariq were well educated, learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets, and courtiers. They lived in the city and wrote histories of the Sultan, expecting rich rewards in return. As you already know in the previous chapter, Prashasti. Why these people were interested in writing the Prashastis? Because in return they are getting some gifts. These learned person sometimes advise the rulers on governance, emphasizing the significance of just rule, the need of the preserve and ideal social order. Their main viewpoint was that, according to them, an ideal social order was based on birthright, and gender discrimination is there in that social order. Here is the Delhi Sultanate, all these five dynasties that ruled over Delhi. Now, Mamluk dynasty. Early Turkish rulers, those who came from foreign land, they were also known as the Mamluk dynasty. In many of the book, it is also written as the slave dynasty. Their main important rulers were Qutbuddin Aibak, Shamsuddin Iltutmish, Razia, and Ghiyasuddin Balban. Razia Sultan became the Sultan of Delhi in 1236. She was the daughter of Iltutmish, but most of the people could not accept a woman as a ruler. So most of the rulers in the Sultanate period, they were not happy at her attempts to rule independently. As a result, she could not remain as a ruler for a longer time. She was removed from the throne in 1240 AD. Some other women were also the rulers, like Rudramai Devi. She belonged to the Kakatiya dynasty of Warangal, present day Andhra Pradesh. She avoided gender discrimination by changing her name on inscriptions and pretended to be a man. Another one was Dida, another queen who ruled during Kashmir during 980 to 1003. She was addressed as Dida instead of Didi, means elder sister. How this Delhi Sultan expand their territories. Through these two important terms, we come to know the expansion of the Sultanate period. Hinterland. It is actually the land adjacent to a city or a port that supply it with goods and services. For example, Calcutta. Another one was the garrison town. It was a fortified settlement with the soldiers, and these soldiers used to provide the military services to the rulers whenever it is required. How was the early phase of the Delhi Sultanate? It was actually limited only to the fortified towns. They did not able to control the distant regions like Bengal, Sindh, from Delhi. It was very, very difficult for these rulers to communicate with them. At that time, Mongol invasion was there from Afghanistan, and many of the rebellions by governor placed a big challenge in front of these Delhi sultans. Number of rebellion occurred at this point of time. The Sultanate barely survived these challenges. Means they were finding very difficulty to have a political control over the vast area which is far away from Delhi. See the expansion of Tughlaq dynasty through the map of India. Three important Tughlaq rulers were Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad Tughlaq, and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. How did the expansion of Delhi Sultanate take place? Yes, of course, the expansion of Delhi Sultanate took place during the reign of Ghiyasuddin Balban, Alauddin Khilji, and Muhammad Tughlaq. These were the most important and famous ruler of Delhi Sultanate. The expansion took place along the internal and external frontiers. So, what were these internal frontiers? They aimed at consolidating the hinterland of the garrison town. Forests were cleared in the Gangetic Plain or in Ganga Yamuna Doab region. Hunter gatherer and pastoralists were expelled from their land, यानी उनको अपनी ज़मीन से बेदखल किया गया, and land was brought under the agriculture. Now, new fortresses and towns were established. And what were the external frontiers? Military expedition to southern India started under Alauddin Khilji and culminated with Muhammad Tughlaq. Sultanate army captured elephants, horses, slaves, precious metals, etc. That's all in this video. Remaining part will be sent to you in next video. Thank you.